In the SEBI legal notification, there is an exhaustive list given of law syllabus, both for phase 1 and phase 2. Now the question that comes in the mind of aspirants is that enough? Today in this video, we are going to answer some of the common queries of many aspirants who are preparing for SEBI legal exam. The first is, will SEBI notification come in 2022? So as per Sushil Ragade sir, there is expected a SEBI notification for which exam will be happening in the end of August. So many students are asking, will SEBI legal notification again come in 2022? The next question that we are going to address in this video is mentioned syllabus enough? Should we also read SEBI regulations or not? How many questions were there from each act? How many questions were there from securities law, from company law, from constitution, and from which areas these questions were present in the exam? And the last question that we are going to address is, do we have to study case laws? Hello everyone, welcome to iExamB. This is Vidhika, your law faculty at iExamB, and today in this video we are going to address those queries using 2020 and 2022 previous year papers. We will refer to paper 2 of both phase 1 and phase 2 of 2020 and 2022, and we will see how many questions were there from each act, and then we will try to answer all the questions that I have discussed in the beginning. Starting with the exam pattern, phase 1 has two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 has four subjects, QRE and GA, Quant, Reasoning, English and GA, and there are 20 questions from each subject, total 80 questions of 100 marks, and the cutoff is 30%, that is 30 marks. Then we have paper 2, which is your legal paper, in which there will be 50 questions of 100 marks and the cutoff is 40%. So paper 1 cutoff is 30 marks, paper 2 cutoff is 40 marks, and the aggregate cutoff is 40% of 200, that is 80 marks. Moving to phase 2, again we have two papers. Paper 1 is descriptive English, which will have essay, comprehension and précis writing. Paper 2 is legal, again multiple choice questions on your law subject. Now looking at the syllabus of paper 2, exhaustive list of syllabus is given, also mentioned with the acts, with the parts or chapters that are relevant to that particular exam. For example, Constitution in phase 1 will hold these many chapters from preamble to part 11 and the weightage is 10%. That means out of 50 questions, 5 questions are expected from Constitution. Similarly, in phase 2, the number of topics have been increased. So phase 2 syllabus is about 20-30% extra from the phase 1 syllabus. Again, here the weightage is 10%. That is, again, 5 questions can be expected. So you can pause the video here and have a look at the syllabus. Try to understand what are the relevant topics for phase 1 and for phase 2. What extra topics have been added for phase 2. As of now, since the notification is not out, I will advise you to start preparing for phase 2 because your phase 1 syllabus will automatically be covered in phase 2 preparation. Now further we will discuss one by one the number of questions that came in each of this part, from constitution, from law of contracts, from criminal law, and the topics from which those questions came. So moving to Constitution of India, we have seen it held a weightage of 10% both in phase 1 and phase 2. So as per the syllabus, 5 questions were expected from the Constitution of India, and the number of questions that came were slightly higher or lower than this. In 2020 phase 1 exam, there were 8 or 9 questions from the Constitution of India. In phase 2 in 2020, there were 6 questions. In 2022 phase 1, there were 3 questions, and in 2022 phase 2, there were 6 questions. If you look at the areas from which these questions were, in phase 1, there were questions from preamble, the adoption date, the implementation date of the Constitution, amendment to the state boundaries. There was one question from part 6, section 170, then part 5, legislative procedure, so on and so forth. Then in 2020 phase 2, there were questions from article 13, article 14, writs, preamble, enforceability, and part 14A, that is article 323A. In 2022 phase 1, right to education, writ of certiorari, DPSP, equal pay for equal work, questions were from these areas. And for 2022 phase 2, it is mentioned on the screen. I'll advise you to pause the video here and have a look, write down the topics, note down which areas were important from which the questions came in the previous years. You will find that most of the questions revolve around the important areas only. Now moving to the next subject, that is law of contracts. So in law of contracts, in phase 1, you have only two subjects, Contract Act and Specific Relief Act, which hold weightage of 10%. In phase 2, you also get Indian Partnership Act in this. Again, the weightage is 10%. So as per the syllabus, 5 questions are expected in the exam. In phase 1 in 2020, there were 7 questions. In phase 2, there were 8 questions in 2020. In 2022, there were 8 in phase 1 and 5 in phase 2. Again, I will bring glimpse of the topics which came in the exam. In 2020, phase 1 definition of contract was asked. Then there was one question from revocation of proposal section 6, another from acceptance. Then chapter 3 contingent contract had 3 questions and rights concerning contract. Again, you can pause and have a look at all the important topics that I have listed down. I have done a very detailed analysis for you so that you can easily understand which are the important areas from which question come. And the way in which question was framed, you can get that from the description. All the 4 question papers are present for download in the description below. Now moving further from the criminal and procedural laws, in phase 1 there are 7 to 8 questions expected, and in phase 2 5 questions are expected. In actual exam in phase 1 there were 5 questions in 2020, and in phase 2 there were 4 questions. But in 2022 the number of questions were increased. In phase 1 there were 10 questions, and in phase 2 there were 6 questions from criminal and procedural laws. The areas from which the questions were are again shown on the screen. In 2020 phase 1 from criminal procedure code there were 2 questions, one on cognizable offense and another on number of criminal courts established. From IPC there were kinds of punishments. Similarly, so on and so forth. You can pause and watch these and understand from which topics the questions came in the exam. Moving further, I would like to address the first query here. Will SEBI notification again come in 2022 or not? See, Sushil sir has mentioned in one of the videos before that there is expected that SEBI notification may come out soon, for which the exam will be in August end. Now, we are not yet sure what will be the stream related to which the notification will come. So, as of now, you have near about 70 to 80 days in your hand for preparation. Now, there are 3 categories of students and you have to see where you lie. First is who believe in this notification, who think that there is a high probability that legal vacancies may come, and thus they have started their preparation for the August exam. They have been given another opportunity in the same year and they want to make the best use of it. Even if the notification does not come, this 70-80 days span preparation will only enhance their preparation for 2023 exam. So what is the harm in just pacing up, in just fast forwarding the preparation? The other category of student will be those who will think that SEBI notification will not come in 2022, and even if it comes, either they are not eligible or they don't want to appear for it. So they will continue at a slow pace for 2023 exam. That's also fine. Coming to the third category of students, which is the most dangerous. They won't believe and they think that this is a fake news, and they will also spread this information to discourage other students. These are the students, they won't even target 2023 exam. They'll wait for 2023 notification to come and then they will start their preparation. And in that case, only the circumstances will decide their fate or their success. As is said by Mr. Hunter S. Thompson, a man who procrastinates in his choosing will inevitably have his choice made for him by circumstances. So a man who is delaying his preparation, a person who is just shifting anything to the next day, then in that case, when the day comes, the circumstances will decide what will happen with that person. You have to decide where you lie in your preparation. You may believe the story and prepare fast. I understand it will be a bit discouraging if legal vacancies did not come, but you have already prepared a lot. keeping August exam in mind, you will be much better prepared because you will have ample time of revision, ample time of practice. For all those serious candidates who want to prepare for this exam, I am willing to make a study plan for you with respect to your requirements. So in the description box, there is a Google form present. Fill that Google form. In that Google form, you have to mention three important things apart from your basic detail. First thing is which year exam you are targeting. Second thing, how much time on a daily basis you can devote to studies, whether it is 5 to 6 hours, whether it is 9 to 10 hours. So mention that. And third thing, mention which are your strong and the weak subjects. And based on that, I will share a study plan specially customized. Also, we are conducting a seminar soon in which Amrita ma'am and I will be sharing the entire preparation strategy with you. For that also you will have to fill the Google form so that you can get the link of that seminar. Now let's continue with our further subjects. The next one is admin law and jurisprudence. In phase 1 they had 20% weightage, in phase 2 they had 10% weightage. So as per the syllabus, phase 1 should have 10 questions and phase 2 have 5 questions, but we saw relatively less questions from this area. In 2020 phase 1 there were 6 or 7 questions, in phase 2 only 2, in phase 1 of 2022 there were only 2 questions, and in 2022 phase 2 there were again only 3 questions. Looking at the areas from which the question comes, legal maxims have always been present in the exam. So you can see, you can pause the screen and look at the topics which came in the exam. The next topic is taught at the next topic is Tort, Arbitration and Transfer of Property Act. In phase 2, it holds 15% weightage. Law of trust is the topic which is added only in phase 2. In phase 1, the first 3 topics had 15% weightage, 5% each, and in phase 2, all the 4 together had 15% weightage. As per the syllabus, in both the phases, the number of questions were 7 or 8, and in the exam, relatively same figure was met. 2020 phase 1 has 6 questions. In 2020 phase 2 there were 7. 2022 phase 1 there were 5. And 2022 phase 2 there were 8 questions from this area. You can again have a look at the topics from which questions came by pausing the video here. Coming to the next area, that is Companies Act. In phase 1 it holds a weightage of 15%. In phase 2 few more topics are added like limited liability partnership and insolvency and bankruptcy code, and these all together hold a 20% weightage. The number of questions that are expected from this area in phase 1 is 7 to 8 and in phase 2 it is 10. And the number of questions that actually came in 2020 phase 1 there were 8, in 2020 phase 2 8, in 2022 phase 1 there were 16 questions alone from the Companies Act, and in phase 2 there were 13 questions, 3 questions from IBC, 9 questions from Companies Act and 1 from LLP. Again pause the video and have a look at the topics from which the question came. At iExamB, we offer SEBI Grade A Legal Officer online course in which we give you video lessons, study notes, practice tests, live sessions, live classes, interview guidance, a lot of difficult level questions which actually come in phase 2 exam, and at present we are giving a flat 40% off on this online course. So if you are interested, you can call us on the number 920-552-4028. You can reach out to us at this number and you will get a comprehensive understanding of this course. Moving further, the securities law topic held a 15% weightage in phase 1 and 20% weightage in phase 2. So expected questions in phase 1 are 7 to 8 and in phase 2 there are 10 questions expected. And the number of questions that came in 2020 were meeting this weightage, but in 2022 the number of questions were reduced from this area. In 2020 there were 9 questions in phase 1, 12 in phase 2. In 2022 there were 6 in phase 1 and 6 in phase 2. Again you can have a look at the important topics from which the question came. The type of questions that came in these exams are present in the description. You can download all the 4 memory based papers from the description below. Also, if you want these topics to be present with you, you want a printout of that, this PPT is also present in PDF form in the description below. You can download the PDF of this PPT also from the description. The last topic that is taxation, which comes only in phase 2, has a 5% weightage. So as per syllabus, 1 or 2 questions is expected. In 2020 we had 1 question, in 2022 we had 2 questions. 2020 question was from definition of capital asset, and in 2022 we had questions from capital gains tax and vertical equity, which is principle of taxation. In both the phases, we had 1 or 2 questions from outside the syllabus. There was one question of qualification of judicial member of Central Administrative Tribunal. Another one was fall of the hammer is associated with what? That is auction sale, which is mentioned in section 64 of Sales of Goods Act. Very general. Administrative Tribunal Act becomes very important. We have seen questions come from this act. So when you are studying administrative law, cover Central Administrative Tribunal Act along with that. These 2 questions were from out of the syllabus in 2020, and in 2022 there was one question from General Clauses Act 1897 from section 8. You can see the type of question from the memory based paper attached below. As I have been mentioning, download the previous year papers, take a printout, download this PPT and refer to it. I am again mentioning, fill the Google form if you need a 75 days study plan to help you to strategize your preparation and also to join the seminar that we are going to conduct soon. We will inform you about the date of that seminar soon. You can reach out to us at hello@iexambi.com. You can also call us on the number which is mentioned on the screen. Subscribe to our channel to get relevant information like this as soon as possible. Thank you so much.